All right, you guys, so you can come into a comfortable seated posture. I'm just going to switch things around on us here. Good. And we'll get prepared to start our practice this morning. So sitting up nice and tall in your seat, get comfortable. That means spine is long, so that we have a conductive channel of energy to lift and create an upward rise in our practice this morning. Your palms can face up on your lap and draw them right up towards the top side of your thighs and sit nice and tall and broad in your chest, relax in your shoulders. Throughout our practice, the inhale and the exhale will pass through the nose. Breathing through the nose is calming to the nervous system. Breathing through the mouth is abrasive and disturbs the inner calm. So just take a few moments here to center into our practice, into our bodies. Draw all of the awareness into your spine and let the spine begin to light up with your attention from the very top to the bottom. Drawing your attention from past experiences that may even have happened just earlier this morning, future expectations or plans or anticipations. Draw everything back to the present moment of the spine, of the body. So for anyone new to this practice and this style, we are continuously drawing our attention back up to the point between the two eyebrows. On a physical level, this means that you're lifting your eyes to look up a little bit higher. As you begin to look up a bit higher, look out far beyond the body, gazing out into the space, the infinite space around us. Now, throughout the practice, there will be cues to continually draw the energy back up. And what this means is, first and foremost, just drawing your attention. But as you inhale even, you can feel that there's an upward lifting of energy through your body that touches to the brain. Let's start with a pranayama this morning, or an energy control practice, and we'll do it through watching the breath. So I want you to watch the breath. As you inhale, feel that you're inhaling at the very top of your nose, so the top bridge of the nose up into the brain. And let there be a cooling sense of energy or quality in the breath as it touches the brain, and as you exhale, just let it evaporate in every direction. You'll notice, if you continue to relax the body, that there is a soothing effect. There is an expanding potential in this simple practice of inhaling right up into the brain and exhaling and letting everything sort of expand in every direction. So you're drawing the energy up and allowing it to expand outward over and over. And the quality of energy that you practice with is very important. So it's not like we're pulling an anchor from the ocean floor, like we're trying to dredge up our awareness to get out of the lower centers to rise. But it's more like a balloon or a kite that's just sort of sailing on the winds and taking flight here. Your awareness in an effortless way just begins to flutter up a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And for these next few rounds, every time the breath reaches its peak, we'll just say Om internally. Pronouncing the whole vibration, A-U-M, Om. And feel that energy right at the peak, Om, touching again and again. From this place, we'll have a chant to open our hearts for the practice this morning. You might change your position if you need to, but to the best of your capacity, keep yourself internalized. We want to watch these fluctuations of energy and these awakenings and unfoldment of more expansive consciousness. This is a really powerful and sacred chant called What Lightning Flash. And it has an opening that Paramhansa Yogananda used to chant that is really special. So I hope you enjoy it and just feel the words starting to seep into who you are and how you experience yourself in these moments. Listen for the consciousness behind the words. Lightning just take a few more moments in silence that follows the chant to see what ancient memories are awakened, what feelings of consciousness are stirred. Yogananda has a quote below this chant: "We worship God as the Father, but we may also worship God as the Divine Mother, for the Mother is closer than the Father. And if we pray to Mother Divine, she will answer through her lightning voice." The divine for you can be unconditional love. It can be the highest potential evolution of your own soul. So when you're ready, you can stir out of your seat. We're going to start on hands and knees this morning. So you can come right on to your tabletop position here. We'll take one leg and extend out nice and long. You just take a little rocking forwards and backwards. Feeling the spine beginning to wake up and energize. You're looking just beyond the top edge of your mat. And if you feel so inclined, you can inhale and lift that leg for just a moment, and then bend the knee and set that side down. We'll go right to the other side. A little rocking front and back. Opening, stretching backwards through the leg, squeezing muscles of the belly to find firmness when you're ready. Again, if you'd like, you can inhale and lift that back leg, and then just bend the knee and set that side down. And then we'll take hands a step forward and start stirring in the hips. And we'll start to move up this chain of the legs into the region of the hips. What a beautiful message that chant brings to us in consciousness. The life of my life is you. Maybe you could begin to feel that in your practice this morning, that there's this sweet spot where the practice flows through you rather than sort of originating from your own efforts. You can reverse the direction as you're ready, and this is the ideal way to practice, where you're gliding through your movements. Even the breath is, I dare to say, an automatic function. It's an expression of a deeper movement of energy and consciousness. Good. And then we'll come back to neutral as is natural and just roll the shoulders. So dip the chest, roll the shoulders up and around. You're awakening the whole body. And then reverse the direction. It's good if it challenges you or you sort of get lost in the motion. Good. And then we'll come into the belly. So come back down to the low of the spine, and you're going to stir your belly up and in and around. So just roll the belly up and in, articulating the spine. And try to keep your wrists nice and soft so that they're not bearing any tension trying to exit the body. Our hands, our feet, and our jaw are often little bottlenecks in the body as tension is attempting to leave. Then reverse the direction, get everything nice and smooth and lubricated. Good. And you come back in a neutral as natural. Toes are tucking underneath. We're going to inhale and rise up onto the knees. And when you're ready, you inhale and lift with the strength of your legs and reach arms all the way up and around. Good. We're going to exhale and send the hands down as we lower down through the legs. So opening into the heart, shoulders, but also stimulating the low body to get some blood flowing. Just a little opening and closing here. Some of us aren't prepared to lower all the way down. We might just go an inch or so and let the hands come down and then inhale back up. And if you could imagine your whole being is beginning to expand. I love this idea lately, just pure inspiration coming through, of expanding your consciousness to fill the room. Imagine what that might feel like if you expand yourself even beyond the boundaries of your skin. Good. And then we'll rest on our knees for a moment here. Let's come further into the shoulders by inhaling, arms up, and you can bend the elbows and send fingertips reaching down the front side of the shoulder, thumbs down the back side, and then wave the elbows around here. And we'll use our breath. Inhale to rise up, exhale to come down. So feel free, you can go a little faster if you'd like, but the slower, sort of like you're kneading the warm dough of the muscles, you're massaging the energetic pathways, softening, very sensual way to move the body, and then rotate around in the opposite direction. And all the while, this energetic process is happening where feelings that we should have been a certain way begin to release out of our shoulders. We release the burden of our own mind off of our shoulders. Then when you're ready, you can inhale, send arms up. Exhale, bow all the way down. We'll come back into our kneeling position. Let's extend the legs again, one at a time. Doesn't matter which side you start. And you just kind of roll over the big toe mound. You begin to get this sense that the whole body is waking up. You might feel a little brighter already in the practice. Now, if you are going to lift your back leg, there's a little lock at the base of your spine. It's called Mula Bandha, and in this position it rises up towards the crown of your head. So lift in your pelvic floor and then lift your leg with toes flexing towards the face. You'll find your body much stronger in this particular position. If you'd like to peek into our sunbird pose and release opposite hand of extended leg, and then just bend your limbs and come back down into neutral. We'll go to the other side. Don't worry, plenty of time to revisit. We're just seeing what the body needs. And this practice has so much more packed into it than we might realize. When you're rolling over the big toe mound, this is an energetic pathway that represents the way that we control our own lives. Massaging into the big toe helps us to relax the vice grip of control that we employ in our lives so that we can be more in a receptive state of grace. When you're ready to rise, the pelvic floor lifts, toes flex towards the face, and you keep firm in this back leg. Again, if you'd like, you can send opposite arm reaching out. Just for a moment of breath and expansion, and then you can exhale and come back to a neutral position. Good. We're going to come back into hands extended beyond shoulders and circle the hips around again. So go even deeper now, really pushing onto either side. Never holding the breath or restricting it in any way. Think like you're getting back to ground zero. You're getting back to the ground of being. The place where consciousness manifests. You reverse when you're ready. We're going right up the chain of the spine again, a little different this time. Go right from your spirals into rolling your belly up into the spine. So roll it up and around. Keep the energy rising. So we're going to keep lifting energy up as fast or as slow as you're ready. Don't feel you have to match my pace. I'm just listening to my own breath and body. And then you reverse the rotation. So stir. Rotation and counter rotation. Good. Beautiful. beautiful. And then heave the shoulders over and forward. So lift the chest up and in. Just do a few shoulder rolls here, lifting up and around. All right, here's the moment we've all been preparing for. When you're ready, inhale and slide into your cow pose and send all that energy to the crown. And then exhale, round into your cat. Take a few moments here of oscillating between either of the poses. Just like we take our bath or our shower to cleanse the skin, we're bathing the spine here in movement that will refresh the energy. Good. All right, we're almost there. We come up onto knees. Last is the throat. And we're going to practice something called Jalandhar Bandha, which is a lock in the throat. So take a nice deep breath and lift the chin to the sky. Exhale out of the mouth. Hold the breath out of the bottom. Chin touches the chest. Just stay empty here. When you need to inhale, push the belly out and look up. Exhale, look down. Make sure the chin locks down. It seals the energy down into what's called Samanavayu in the belly region, or the digestive air. And we're sealing energy into that container to become purified here. Then we'll release in a moment. Inhale to look up. Exhale, look down. Good, we'll take it a step further. As you inhale, look up. As you exhale, look down, and we're just going to gently pulse the breath out of the nose and dance the navel. So it sounds like this. Okay, inhale, look up. Open the eyes if you feel lightheaded. One more time, this time with Om as we pulse. So Oming right into the solar plexus. Chin stays down, couple more rounds. Good, inhale, lift the chin up. Beautiful, exhale, our resting posture. Either come into child's pose or downward facing dog. If you're coming into down dog, step your feet back and press up to the sky. Little pedal of the knees here, but don't worry about your posture here so much. You're allowing that energy to rise up your spine back to your brain. If you can take 3 to 5 long breaths in the pose, this is excellent, but come down if you need to rest. Every inhale is drawing that beautiful quality of vitality from the solar plexus, from the lower energy centers in the body, back to the brain. When you're ready, you can come down onto hands and knees. If you need child's pose, just come and take a rest for a few moments here. If you'd like to stay raised and come through cat and cow sequence, feel free to keep dancing in the spine here. The idea is to expand our awareness. If it feels like your awareness is sort of like the light in the tunnel disappearing behind the passing train, coming tighter and tighter and tighter, then you want to shift your practice. Longer, deeper breath. Let the consciousness fill the room around you. We're going to take this a step further when you're ready, coming up onto our knees once more. I think it'd be fun to try this in a gate pose. So let's take hands just enough to the ground that we can extend one of our legs off into the side, and then you can rise back into your gate pose. We do the gate pose to draw Mula Bandha, so engage the root lock in the body. It's just a little gathering of the pelvic floor muscles lifting up. Good. Open through the solar plexus. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up and around. We're going to exhale with fingers interlacing, bow the chin towards the chest and rest the hands on the back of the neck. Keep Mula Bandha engaged if you can here. And you just breathe nice, long, deep breath. What's happening in the body on an energetic level is you are drawing energy up from the lower centers into Samana Vayu, this processing center of the body, digestion of experiences. And we're locking the throat, Jalandhar Bandha. So you're creating this internal furnace. And we're just going to breathe here, resting in the pose. When you're ready to rise, you inhale and lift the chin, reach the arms up overhead and look to the space between the hands as much as your body will allow. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Let that energy release up to the sky. Nice deep breath. And you can come into gate pose when you're ready. You just drop the arm down and reach the opposite side over and to the side. Don't worry if the sensation is too subtle for our awareness to pick up on. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. We're liberating that energy. The beauty of the neutral spine, as you come back up, you can reach arms above the head, hands can touch, elbows slightly bent, and we'll press into the palms here. And we move into the Pranavayu. Pranavayu moves up and down. This is your breath function. And just think like you're lowering the well bucket and then you're lifting it back up above the surface. So take a few breaths like this if you can in the pose. We still have Mula Bandha engaged if you can in the pose. Don't worry if you have to let it go or it eludes you as to where it is. Beautiful job, everyone. You can take hands coming down through the heart. Hands back down to the earth as you're ready, and you just bend the knee and come to the side. Perfect time to come right to the other side, and we'll give this leg a little bit of extension that was holding us. Good. We'll inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, go ahead and bow the head and rest the fingers interlaced behind the neck. Elbows stay heavy. Try to stand as tall as you can in your spine. First stage here, take a nice deep breath in and lift through Mula Bandha and just keep that lock engaged. Now breathe slow and calm, chin bowed towards the chest. Jalandhar Bandha is closed like the lid of a jar. And we send all this energy into Samana Vayu to begin digesting and processing our experiences. If you really want to stimulate the Samana Vayu, you do your little gentle breath of fire here, exhaling through nose and pumping the navel like this. Careful not to stoke the furnace so hot that it starts to burn you with intensity. When you're ready to release out of this position, we inhale and send arms up into the sky. Look between the hands, and you're opening that lid, so let the throat open and reach up. Good, and then you can exhale right into your gate pose as you're ready, resting the hand down. Keep the spine long here. These beautiful channels are being awakened. Remember, some of these pathways, just like a pathway in the woods gets overgrown through lack of use, there may be a little bit of a cleaning process that begins to happen in your body, and this is natural and should be welcomed. Let's repeat the affirmation: waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Feel the consciousness as all that energy is lifted from Mulabandha through the Samanavayu region. Pranavayu encourages the greater lift. Come back to neutral when you're ready. Palms touching above the head. If your knee is a little bit challenged by the pose, you can always come down and just rest. And in this place, we work into Udan Vayu, or the rising energy. It's what makes you sneeze and burp and cough. It's the upward rising energy in the head. And it's powerful to draw what Pranavayu has reached down into the well of your spine to draw up to the surface. We draw that freshness into the point between our two eyebrows. When you're ready, you can gently draw the hands into the heart, and we'll come down onto the earth, bending the knee here, coming back to neutral position. Let's come off of our knees into downward facing dog. So you can press up here. Just give the knees a break, bending one and then the other. And take some long, deep breaths here, pushing out of the hands. And just think of that whole chain of events that we put in place. You have Mula Bandha, lifting energy into the belly. Samana Vayu, starting to stir the fiery essence of your inner digestion of both emotion, thought, and food. Pranavayu pulsing up and down with the waves of the spine. And finally, Udan Vayu, which is pouring into the earth as we speak with upward rising energy. When you're ready, you can come down onto knees, and you either take child's pose, or for any yogis out there that would like to sit over the ankles, this is a powerful way to feel the energy that you're awakening. Palms face up on the lap in Vajrasana. If you want to try Vajrasana but your knees tend to be sore, take a little blanket or a pillow and tuck it right against the knees and then sit down over. If ankles get sore, tuck it under the ankles and just pause here. Feel that wonderful vitality. Beautiful. Just keep feeling that upward rise. Sort of like we have this cosmic elevator in our spine and it's been out of order, it's been stuck on ground floor, or maybe gets stuck on the second floor or third floor, and now it's back in order. It's freely traveling up to the top floor of the body over and over with inhalation. I don't know if any of you have seen Willy Wonka recently, but in Willy Wonka there's this wonderful elevator that once it rises to the top floor, it bursts through the ceiling and it's sort of sailing on the winds of consciousness, and this is what we're all working towards in our practice. All right, awesome, you guys. When you're ready, you can come right out of your seat, and gentle as you are, we're going to come up into standing position here. So the last of our Vayus, or the airs in our body, is Vyana Vayu, which is surrounding the body, this beautiful field of our aura. So we're going to stimulate that field, and we'll tie this whole practice together in a moment here. So let's take soft hands into the heart. Many of you know this practice. We're going to say, I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. And you got to say it like you mean it. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. And then smile. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. Again, I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. Try tensing out, tensing forward, tensing up, relaxing down. Tense out, tense forward, tense up, and relax down. Let's do it with breath. Inhale out, exhale forward, double inhale up, double exhale down. Again. One more. All right, let's close the eyes, draw right up, rise in that cosmic elevator to the spiritual eye. Relax the whole body, feel the awakening energy. Good, let's stay with it. We're going to keep stimulating. Vyana Vayu, when you're ready, you can go ahead and double inhale, open the arms with tension. Double exhale, release. Slight bend of the knees. And release. Stay vigorous. And release. Again. One more. And relax. Good, hands into the heart, then release down by the hips. Lift the awareness up again. Let it expand. Gentle relaxation of the skin, all the awareness. You're filling the room with your consciousness. All right, one more little part of this sequence. We'll tie this whole experience together, and then we'll get more into our asanas or postures. We're going to take feet nice and wide. You can take your hands right above your knees. Fingers are pointing out. Thumbs are on the inside. Good. See if you can get a sense of Mula Bandha real quick here before we even do the practice. It's just like you're squeezing the pelvic floor and then releasing. Squeezing. And then at some point you can squeeze gently and hold. So when you're ready, take a deep inhalation through the nose. Open mouth, all the breath out. Hold at the bottom and gently draw the navel in and out. So your breath is held out. As soon as you need to breathe, you release the belly. Come back to the surface for fresh air. And then work to hold longer. Exhale all the breath out. Relax at the bottom. Your navel gently flutters in. And more importantly, your navel's drawing up and releasing, up and releasing, up and releasing. Come up again as you're ready. Last time for anyone experienced, don't worry about perfection. You're perfect and beautiful as you are. Exhale all the breath out. When you draw the navel up, look to the point between the two eyebrows. Release, draw it up, release, draw it up, release. A couple more times, drawing up, release. As soon as you need to breathe. Inhale, come right up. If we can do one more, that'd be wonderful. Exhale all the breath out, right to empty. Hold it out. Inhale, come right up to standing. Stay with me here. The big toes are going to touch if the body can. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Roll onto the ball of the foot. You're going to squeeze right through your legs, right through your thighs, your glutes, your belly, both front of belly and lower back, through the ribs, the chest, right up the arms. Whole body engaged. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold the breath at the top. You can touch hands together above the body if you want. Squeeze the whole body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You're sending that energy powerfully up to the brain. Sip in more breath as you need it. Inner gaze at the point between the two eyebrows. You're like a rocket ship about to take off. Very gently exhale and release the arms and expand. So take your time here. This is where you feel Vyana Vayu, the expansive aura of energy around the body. Breathe as naturally as you need to. Let's just take one more round of inhaling, rising up. Let the body relax. Leave it all relaxed now. Lifting up the spine. Exhaling, spreading that space out nice and wide. You can really feel in this practice today the prana circulating in the body. And then just relax. You can take feet back to normal as you're ready to. Inner gaze resting at the spiritual eye, the inner throne of your kingdom. All right, fluttering eyes open. So I hope you all have enjoyed that experience. It's a wonderful way to really balance all the centers of the body and balance the various vayus and the way that they interact with the airs of the body. We're going to come into another posture here. We'll come into chair pose. So in chair pose, you can either pretend like you're just sitting right down onto a chair. That means hips underneath shoulders. This is a rather gentle chair pose. Some of us like to press our hips back a little. This will strengthen your belly. Either way, the spine, you can see in both postures, is nice and long. Take hands under the heart to begin. If you're pushing your glutes out, weight is on the heels. If your hips are under shoulders, weight is on the ball of the foot. Just take a few moments to breathe here. The affirmation for Utkatasana: my body is no burden, it is light as air. My body is no burden, it is light as air. Look steadfast right in front of you. We've had all this preparation for the spine, so now's not the time to be an idle thought. Bring the awareness up the spine and feel that energy rising, Mula Bandha engaging. Some of us even draw Uddiyana Bandha, or draw the navel in and up towards the belly, towards the body. If you feel like you can release the hands comfortably, we stay here for a few moments. My body is no burden, I am light as air. My body is no burden, I am light as air. Before you're ready to come up, go down for 3 more breaths. My body is no burden, I am light as air. Don't believe the sensory input in your body. My body is no burden, I am light as air. My body is no burden, I am light as air. The mind is the master of the body, not the sensory input. My body is no burden, I am light as air. You extend in victory up into the sky, reaching nice and tall. Exhale, sweep the arms down and around. Just take a moment to feel. Again, lifting energy to the point between the 2 eyebrows. My body is no burden, I am light as air. This is a whole new way to greet these postures. Nice long, deep breathing. You flutter the eyes open as you're ready, and we're going to come into the dancer's pose. This is a wonderful posture for balance, but also for opening the heart. So you just go ahead and catch one of your ankles. Start by aligning your knees. So most of us will look like this in the beginning. Align the knees, slight bend in your supportive knee. And then as you're ready, reach the opposite arm to the sky. And as you start to kick into the backhand, you can lean forwards. Slowly, slowly. The affirmation: as I move through life, I am anchored in myself. That's a capital S, self. As I move through life, I am anchored in myself. And gaze in the direction that we want the energy to flow. So lift your energy a little bit higher here. Try to relax in the pose and feel that your spine is just teeming, overflowing with energy into the body parts. As I move through life, I'm anchored in myself. Stay here for several breaths if you can. Let the body be a little challenged and defy that sensory input with calm acceptance. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. And you let the reverse out of the posture be ever so gently. And we come right to the other side. Let's give this supportive leg a rest and go ahead and catch the opposite ankle, and then we'll take our integration. So kicking into the backhand, your opposite arm reaches. And then you might begin to kick into the hand a little more firmly and lower yourself into the pose. Nice steady breath here. As I move through life, I am anchored in myself. And feel that sense, the quality of the anchor holding strong into the bedrock of your soul. Moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Try to stay relaxed in the pose, enough that you can smile and enjoy it. You're expanding in every direction here. It's a powerful position. And you stay long enough that something begins to transform. There's a threshold that you've crossed, not exhaustion, but there's a transformation. When you start to feel anything like that, you could stay for a couple more breaths. When you need to, go ahead and lower down. Before we take our respite, bend your knees and hold onto your hips. Just take a little stirring around here, a little arch in your spine, a little stirring. For some reason, our practice is rather scientific today. It seems very exact, but at least on this end, it's working. So keep breathing. Good. And then you're going to stay in the same position, but just go side to side and sort of squeeze on either side of your spine. Little bend in the knees. You feel all this wonderful awakening, and then you inhale, send arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down through the heart and by the hips. Just rest and feel that channel wide open. If you're resting on the heels, come towards the ball of the foot. Heavy heels is downward flowing energy. Light on the ball of the foot is sattvic, or light and pure in quality, upward rising. Beautiful. You can slowly open the eyes whenever you're ready, just taking the time to touch back with the spiritual eye. Feel the effects of your practice. Let's do a triangle pose. This is a really invigorating posture in the body. You take your step back. So here's how I measure it. 1 step back is a good measure for your legs. If you want to go a little further, you could take 2 steps back. This is more challenging. Anybody daring? Not to awaken your ego, but you can take 3 steps back if you feel the need to. And then you take the inside arch of your thumb and your first finger, and you press into that little muscle. If it's a little tendon right here that wraps, it's called the hip flexor, and you push into that to begin. Slight bend in your front knee. We don't want knees locking backwards, but muscles engaged. Some of us can go down to our forearm, and this is a good place to rest, and we send opposite arm to the sky. And others of us want to stay taller in the spine and float using the muscles of the belly, and we use the back side of the palm. So start above the knee. For anybody that can go below the knee, feel free. And the affirmation, energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. And repeat it loud at first, enough to wake yourself up. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. If it is challenging to look up, just look down towards the ground. That's totally fine. And you reach into the unknown with your top arm. One more repetition of the affirmation. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. See if you can stay for a couple more breaths and feel that there is a cosmic source of energy that fills your body. And then gently, as you're ready, you can begin to rise back with the strength of body and legs, both arms up to the sky. I personally like to turn into a straddle here and just take my respite with wide legs. You might be facing the side of your room and just breathe. Bathing the body in fresh breath and fresh energy rising through the spine over and over again. And we'll do the other side. As you're ready to open your eyes, you can just turn out your foot on the other side, so we're facing the opposite direction. Now your back foot is most likely pointing perpendicular to your body. See if you can fold it out a little bit more of an angle, and this will help you in the triangle pose. Again, you take that index finger and thumb line and you just press right in to the hip here, and it helps to soothe there. You're not forcing or packing anything over there, and you may take your hand down. Some of us even use both hands to start. Some of us can get down to the forearm and we send opposite arm. This may be our resting triangle. If you're working on strengthening the core muscles and the low back muscles, great for training the body for seated meditation, then you just float the arm. Backward pressure on the back side of your palm towards your leg allows your top shoulder to open wider. Now you may have a side that is stronger than the other. Just be loving and compassionate with whichever side is balancing. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Forget about the sensory input of the muscles. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Nice strong breathing here. If you lose your capacity to smile, dial it back. Remember, it's energy and joy, not energy and intensity. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Joy descends to me. Squeeze the muscles of the belly. Whenever you're ready to come out of the pose, you be the judge. This is a challenging and very invigorating posture. You just gently, in a relaxed way. Remember, it's over in a second, so don't be desperate as you move. Center your feet towards the side of your mat and just take a moment here. It's funny how, in hindsight, we always speak fondly of challenging times as being the formative years of our lives, but when we're in them, it's a little more challenging to hold that consciousness. Swami Kriyananda says that there's joy in suffering. When you're ready, we're going to come into Prasarita, or a forward folding pose. Some of us like to heel toe our feet a little bit wider for this pose. Some of us go a little closer. So we're going to fold forwards, but not before we inhale and sweep the arms up. Nice deep breath. Let your ribs separate away from your hips. Feel your spine nice and long. Good. When you're ready to, you exhale. Let's bathe the hands down the body. Just do a little bathing of energy, a bath. Hands coming all the way down, nice and slow, calming the nervous system. And you're going to take hands to the top of the thigh, and then you can start to bow your hips back and release yourself halfway. Now, some of us it's more comfortable to go a little further down the thigh, so you have to kind of play around here. Take a nice deep breath in, like you're going to touch the crown of your head towards the room in front of you. Then you can exhale and release. Inhale, push off the thighs, rise halfway. Then release. The affirmation on release. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Think of how much energy we expend on internal conflict. Let's take a nice deep breath and once and for all release that. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. And if you have the awareness to here, practice Mula Bandha in this pose. When you're forward folded, it's so powerful. Lift that pelvic floor. Some of us can even exhale all the breath out and we practice Uddiyana Bandha, which is the belly drawing in. Some of us can even get into Jalandhar and draw the throat in, and you have all these locks. And it's basically like you're rising up through the levels of the spine and you're closing the door behind you, never again to go back down. Of course, you breathe naturally as you need to. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. When you're ready to come down, just heel, toe, feet a little bit closer if needed until you can touch the ground, even if it's far in front of your body. And we'll just step feet behind us. Some of us will orient ourselves on our mat to touch into downward facing dog. This gives the legs a little bit of a break, but maintains your inversion. Others will come right into child's pose. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. What joy it is to be free from the fires of desire. The inner pressure to always be moving to the next thing. We relax the inner pressures, and therein lies the bliss. It's like coming in from a windy day on the beach into the calm sunroom with glass panes. We can still see the beautiful vistas, but no longer tossed around by the wind. Some of our bodies really enjoy downward facing dog, and I encourage you, if you can, to stay here for 5, 7, even 9 breaths if you'd like, and just have yourself that experience. Now, 2 options you can, when you finish, lower down into child's pose or hare pose. So child's pose is the gentle posture. Hare pose is a deeply awakening pose. I'll demonstrate and hold the pose so that you don't have to watch. You just come in when you're ready. Transfer for your down dog. Remember, in hare pose, there's no weight on the top of the head. It's just barely touching the earth. You're pulling on the heels, and you're lifting your belly up into your spine. You're ready to release down, just untuck the toes, and we'll all meet in child's pose to rest. Arms can be extended long, or they can wrap behind you if you'd like, and just rest them onto the ground. remember, just like an old stiff garden hose that hasn't been used very often, the spine, when it first experiences these new flows of energy, may take time to accommodate. We may have an opening only so big to accommodate that over time will grow. So we're gentle with ourselves, relaxing and feeling. Keep lifting your energy back to the point between your two eyebrows, especially if it's resting on the ground. Then you have this nice little physical stimulation of that point. When you breathe in child's pose, the breath not only breathes into the belly, but it also expands the ribs, and most important, it fills into the low spine. This posture is wonderfully healing for the kidneys. Beautiful, nice deep breath. When you feel compelled to, you can rise out of the pose only to come down onto your seat. So we're going to lower down here. There's been a lot of activation in our practice. Let's come down onto our backs and take knees in towards the chest. Little rocking side to side. Now we're first going to practice a fish pose, so legs coming nice and long here. Hands by the sides of the body, elbows slightly bent. You're just going to drag your head along the ground until you can lift your chest. Put weight into the elbows. The affirmation, my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. You're opening the throat here, center of self-expression. All the Jalandhar Bandha work that we've done today has prepared you for this moment. Your spine is wide open. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Try looking behind you towards the earth. Agya chakra, or point between the two eyebrows, wide open here. When you're ready to come down, the earth is waiting for you. Take a few moments of respite, and our final pose is going to be a plow pose. So just rest, it's coming. Take the energy and lift it up to the brow. You're in Shavasana just for a moment. So when we go through plow pose, if it's particularly challenging for you, you just bend your knees and you might lift into bridge pose. And this is a great inversion to finish with. If you'd like to try plow pose, start with elbows plugging into the ground. Watch me first. Your knees can come in towards your chest. Extend your legs and roll by holding onto the backs of the legs. Roll onto the upper back. So this is tranquility pose. It's a great alternative to plow for those of us still working up to it. If you want to tri-plow, plug the elbows back in and you push into them to lift your hips and set your feet behind you. Some of our bodies let us go right to the ground, but most of us, our legs are probably going to float. So go ahead and attempt on your own. If you like the support of a blanket underneath your shoulders, and you do that regularly, you're welcome to do that in this practice. Please don't look left or right, even if you're curious as to what I'm doing. Just breathe in the pose and relax. Let's see if we can find the affirmation for this pose while you guys are resting with long, deep breathing. If you know it already, forgive me. Oh, this is a beautiful one. New life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. New life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. Look to the point between your two eyebrows and feel yourself receiving that. New life, new energy, our new consciousness now flood my brain. Remembering the words of our introductory chant, the life of my life is you. The life of my life is you, the pure consciousness that flows through you. This is your essence, not your personality, not this body, which is so temporary. As Swami Shankaracharya taught us, we are Satchitananda, ever new, ever conscious, ever existing bliss. Before you come down out of the pose, some of us can bend our knees. Just release the knees. This can be relaxing in the body, and you may even come almost close to a knee to ear pose, or you hug your knees towards your ears. When you're ready to come down, you slowly, with knees bent, just roll out, release the hips out of hands in any way, and we'll lay down into Shavasana to take our final rest of the practice. Take your time arriving slowly into the pose. Shavasana is the final pose where we extend our legs out nice and long, palms facing up. We draw a blanket over the body to secure and keep the energy central in the spine. Bring all of your awareness right into the spine. Not a minute of your practice lost in idle thinking and wandering of the mind. There's this funny chant. It's called, "Oh my saint, wake yet, wake yet." And the second line is, "You did not meditate, you did not concentrate, you spent your time in idle words. Oh my saint, wake yet, wake yet. Death may be at thy door, and you won't have time anymore. To free your soul. Oh my saint, wake yet, wake yet." And it's in that spirit of wakefulness that we rest the outer body, the physical body, but that our inner bodies, the prana body, pranamaya kosha, the bliss body, anandamaya kosha, these Please remain fully awakened. If you need any words to circulate, you can repeat Om Christ Bliss. Om Christ Bliss. Or God Christ Guru. Or Om Shanti Bliss. attention to gently come back into the body. Feeling this new life, new consciousness saturated into every cell of your physical body. The light of this new consciousness cauterizing neural pathways in the brain that no longer serve you. And this light revealing the silent nature of the soul and the divine that rests within. Let that awareness fill into the spine, both physical and the energetic column of light, the sushumna that sits directly in front of your physical spine. In the immortal words of Jesus Christ, if thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. Take a few moments here at the spiritual eye. If thy eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. This is the light of Christ consciousness, higher awareness. If thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. It's from this place of wakefulness that we invite movement into fingers and toes, the muscles. Feeling yourself embodied into every room of the body. Your hands, your feet, your legs and arms. You can reach them above the head as is natural. Along the earth. A little squirming here is in order if you'd like to just kind of squirm side to side, wake the body up, long, expansive breath. When you're ready, you can take knees one at a time back in towards the chest, and some of us really like that little soothing, rocking left to right, and feel free. And when you're ready, roll off to your right side. It may be helpful to take a couple of breaths here, just to relax. If you're ready to rise, you can rise up into your seat and try to keep your eyes closed. This is a very special moment in your practice. You've opened all of these internal doorways to expand beyond your worldly day-to-day consciousness into a more refined, essential self. It's not an altered state of consciousness. This is the more organic, original sense of consciousness. We take a few moments here just to abide and to remember the beauty of this place is that it's only when we're here that we know that we've left. And this is how we know that this is the essence of who we are. The trip is when we go off into those mental worlds of the ego, the desires, all the while the simplicity of our soul is resting quietly underneath, patiently awaiting our return back home. If you can lift the gaze to the point between the two eyebrows, it magnifies the experience that much more. And then we can join the hands in prayer and bow the head towards the hands. And we're bowing even before our healing prayers. We bow to the consciousness, to the teachers that have brought this class to us this morning, because it's only through our personal attunement that we are able to receive these teachings. Even more importantly, it's through their grace, through the love that we draw them into our lives with, that we are able to have the depth of a practice like this. So just take a moment here to honor those beautiful teachers of many, many forms and incarnations, whichever ones that you resonate with most, just giving thanks. And then we'll rub the palms together here and we'll send some blessings of higher consciousness out into the world, seeing hearts all over the planet awaken who are ready to awaken, love filling them, higher consciousness inspiring them. We'll extend our hands out nice and wide, feeling your body as a perfect channel of divine light. Beloved Masters, perfect our prayer. We'll take a deep breath in preparation, inhaling through the nose, open mouth, exhale to release. Let's do it together. Deep breath in. Let the breath out. We'll Om for 3 rounds. Join when you're ready. Feeling that energy pouring through your body, blessing this world in real time, uplifting consciousness, inspiring those ready to awaken. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gather your hands together in prayer. Gentle bow of our heads. We bow to our own divine nature, the divine nature within all beings, the eternal self and soul. Saying Namaste, Namaste. So take your time coming back. This is a great time to just sit and be quiet, have a little tea, meditate. We spend all this time getting ourselves in the ideal state to experience peace and bliss, and we want to extend that peace and bliss as far as we can. So to the best of your ability and your practice, be mindful as you go out into your day and keep that joy and that cheer going. Thank you all very much for being here this morning.